Well, good morning. It is September 13 and I am at Sun Lake's Dry Falls State Park in Washington. It's not far from Coulee City. And there's a lot of little different trails in this park. So this first one I am on is called the Caribou Trail. It is very much a desert landscape here. I'm hoping I don't see any rattlesnakes. And yeah, it looks really neat. A while back, I put all the states into a hat and I had my mother draw one out and she drew Washington. So now you will be seeing a lot of Washington state in the next hikes. I am pretty excited because it has 124 state parks and 4 national parks in this state. So wow, what a wealth of vast hiking trails await me. I mean, aren't these shrubs just so pretty? Even if it's just yellow. With it being an El Nino year, the Northwest is supposed to be unseasonably warm and dry. So I'm really seizing this opportunity to explore. I'm thinking I'll probably be gone 2 months. So I hope the weather holds out for me. The campground I stayed at last night, it was okay. I mean, it was nice because there was hardly any people there. So obviously I'm traveling in a non-touristy part of the year, which is great. I mean, the washrooms are run down and stuff, but it was lovely, and being by a lake, very special. So I definitely would recommend this park. They classified this trail as a moderate trail. So far, not bad. Just kind of rocky. Well, I want to continue on with my hiking through the Bible. If you will recall, we are in the book of Leviticus, at the very end of the book. So it's interesting that God told the children of Israel when they entered the land of Canaan, the land would keep a Sabbath's rest. So 6 years they were to till and sow and harvest the land. But on the 7th year, they were not to do any tilling or reaping. They were to let the land rest. Although whatever did happen to grow could be used by anyone, rich or poor. Well, there's a pretty significant depression here. On the 6th year, there would be enough food provided by God for 3 years. This served many purposes. Sabbatical years emphasized that the land was holy because it belonged to God. It gave the land a fallow period that maintained its agricultural quality. It affirmed equality by having everyone live off the land in its natural state. And it served as a test of faith that God would provide without a regular harvest. Have any of you done this nowadays? I would be curious to know. Seven Sabbaths of 7 years was 49 years. And then on the 50th year was the year of Jubilee. This meant redemption of property, lending to the poor, and the slaves were redeemed. The trail's becoming narrow and steep now. Looks like horses come on this trail. There were times when the Israelite could progressively sink deeper into poverty, losing the ability to make a living on his own ancestral land, and then becoming dependent as a servant. Fellow Israelites were to help as much as they could by not charging interest, by providing assistance, and by redeeming land for a poor relative. Gotta go through a gate. The Jubilee release was the remedy of last resort. It gave a person another opportunity to maintain independence by simultaneously restoring freedom from servitude and the ancestral land on which to make a living. Oh, there's a little cairn. I must be still on the right trail. I feel like I'm wandering in the wilderness now. I've run out of posts, the markers, so I probably should have turned back at that gate. I don't know. So I think I'll turn back now because it's just pretty much I'm on the tabletop and it's not much to see except sagebrush. So let's go back. Yeah, this is quite a canyon. Jubilee release of land cannot apply in modern Western societies today because we do not have ancestral possession like those of the Israelites. However, from this legislation we can learn timeless principles of social justice and compassion. And when Jesus was on earth, he saw in his work of preaching good news and proclaiming release and liberty as the fulfillment of the Jubilee principles. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and recovery of sight to the blind, to set at liberty those who are oppressed, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord. How wonderful that God has leveled out the playing field and wants all of us that are in bondage free. Will you accept his offer? What is preventing you from giving your life to Jesus? Well, that was a 90-minute walk, so I'm guessing about 3 miles. Nice little climb. And now I want to take you to the visitor center. Sadly, I would be here on the day that it's closed, but it's still a pretty spectacular overlook. So let's go. And there's the visitor center. So that is Sun Lake down there. So they call this the world's greatest waterfall without water. I guess it's 3.5 miles wide and 400 feet deep or tall. Bigger than Niagara Falls, if there was water. And now we are done with the book of Leviticus. It wasn't that bad, was it? I enjoyed learning about the sanctuary. And now stick with me as we go hiking on through the Bible.